13 on Your Sidelines, sponsored by Davenport University. Get where the world is going.
Come on. Come on. There it is. There it is. All right. Football weather. It only took us 7 weeks. Maybe a little rain at your game didn't ruin anything except maybe my TV here, but that's okay. Conference titles and playoff spots on the line tonight. This is 13 on Your Sideline. But before we get to the highlights, we want to introduce you to our guests of the evening. Please welcome the cheer team from Zeeland West High School. Come on. Pretty good. All right, let's get to the good stuff. In our 13 on Your Sidelines game of the week, the schools are small, but don't be mistaken, the stakes were huge. Take a look at the conference standings here in the CSAA Silver. You can see Kent City and Central Montcalm both came into this week with perfect conference records, and tonight they went head-to-head with a conference championship on the line. It's the second straight season that this game would determine the conference crown. So let's get right to it. This was going to be a really good one. All right, there we go. We got the highlights for this one. The home team got on the board right away. First quarter, Hornets, they were driving. Cameraman loses the ball, but so does the defense. That's Zane Cooper in for the score. 8-0 Central Montcalm. Good start. Then we head to the second. Eagles also on the 8. That's Logan Thompson. Takes the entire D-line with him all the way to the end zone. We were tied at 8 after the 2-point conversion. Later in the opening frame, more from the road team. Kent City on the 2. That's Harrison Smith who finds his way into the end zone. Eagles on top 16-8. We go final seconds now of the opening half. Eagles drive it again. Andre Mead calls his own number, takes it in himself. 24-8 Kent City at the break. Eagles sitting comfortably. So with that, we jump to the third. More for Kent City. Cooper Stinson gets into the end zone, 32-8. How about an answer, though, from the Hornets on the 37? Quarterback's going to fumble it. There's Stinson. He does it on offense. He does it on defense. And that's a house call just like that. This was turning into a blowout. It was 40-8. Fourth quarter now. One more score for the Hornets on their own 36, but a handoff here to McCoy Wernholm. He's going to break a tackle, and he's gone. Nobody's catching him, but it would be too little, too late. That made it 40-14. And in the fourth, Kent City would put the cherry on top. Levi Thompson in for the score. Kent City, conference champs, and our 13 on Your Sidelines game of the week winner, 46-14.
It feels good. I mean, these guys have been battling every week, and battling some adversity. And it started at the beginning of this game, and it was great to see them overcome that and get that conference championship. Don't look ahead, just stay the course and keep getting better. We're going to look to go and 1-0 next week, and then just keep it rolling.
For the second straight season, Hudsonville is in the driver's seat in the OK Red. As you take a look at the standings, you can see the Eagles all alone. They held off Rockford in a thrilling victory last week, but a few teams could still spoil the party. That would include their opponent tonight, the East Kentwood Falcons, and buckle in. This was a thriller. The 37th meeting between these two teams. Push-ups mean points. Braden Van Lake, check this out, scrambling for his life. He's going to chuck it up toward the end zone. There's Travis McKee, and that would give Hudsonville a 29-27 lead in the third quarter. So we jump to the fourth, an answer from East Kentwood. Cade Kaufman, the Michigan State commit. That's Owen Vanderveen. Back shoulder connection. East Kentwood up 35-29. 2 seconds left. Hudsonville trying to find lightning in a bottle. Van Lake scrambling. One last heave. This is going to be the end of the game. It's a tip. And Andrew Merriman pulls it down. Unbelievable. With that, we were tied. Alex Tolotzin for the extra point and the game-winning score. Hudsonville somehow survives. That's the second walk-off Hail Mary we've seen this season. Somehow, some way, the Eagles take it 43-42. Unbelievable finish. Belding and Oak Ridge now. They've met several times in the last few years, both in the regular season and then in the playoffs. But this season, Belding is dropping down to Division 6, Oak Ridge still in Division 5. So tonight's game, it was just for bragging rights. Still a good one, though, a battle of 5-1 teams. Black Knights, they grind out a long opening drive, capped off by this 2-yard run from Tegan Van Dyken. That would be an 8-0 lead. We go next, Black Knights drive, facing 4th and 6. They run the reverse. That's Jonah Hummel, breaks a couple tackles, a 16-yard gain, move the chains. A few plays later, now it's Ethan King who's going to take it up the middle. King breaks a few tackles, scores from 20 yards out, 14-0. And the Black Knight D stood tall all night. Hummel comes up with the one-handed pick. Yeah, love to see that. So let's see it twice. Heck of a play by Hummel on defense. Belding moves to 6-1. They take this one 28-7. Grand Rapids Catholic Central is the only OK Black team that still has an undefeated league record. And with just 2 conference games left, they're trying to avoid any stumbles in the final stretch of the regular season. Tonight, Holland Christian would be one of the teams trying to create a little conference chaos as they faced the Cougars. Coming into tonight, though, the Maroons hadn't beaten Catholic Central since 2013. We picked this one up late in the first quarter. Holland Christian has the ball. The quarterback Griffin Liu and Wyatt Shook fight each other. It ends up in Catholic Central's hands. Both offenses struggling. Catholic Central's defense came up with another play after several tips here. Brody Warner, he would come down with the rock for the second forced turnover of the game by the Cougars. That play by the defense would set up some offense. 7 minutes left in the second. Odin Spencer, Nick Schaub. That would give Catholic Central the first score of the game. The Cougars' lead, though, didn't last long. Ensuing play from scrimmage, Isaiah Myerd breaks one tackle off to the races. 80 yards, that would tie the games up. He's having one heck of a season. But this game wouldn't stay tied for long. The Cougars on the 24 after a long kickoff return. Pass here from Spencer. Perfect spot for Schaub. The encore, their second connection of the game, 14-7. All Cougars after that. Catholic Central would remain undefeated. They take down the Maroons on senior night, 35-7. And we're just getting started here. Up next, teams fighting for their playoff lives here in Week 7. South Christian travels to Zeeland East as the Sailors hope to keep a decade-long playoff streak intact. Plus, Forest Hill Central also looking to crawl its way back into the playoff picture. The Rangers hosted Zeeland West tonight. And as we head to break, we'd like to thank our food sponsor, Robinson Dental. They bought the pizza for all of our in-studio guests. Includes you at home. You better be doing the West Side Rumble. South Christian has made the playoffs each of the last 10 years, but this season, the 3-3 Sailors are on the bubble. They still have to play Unity Christian and Grand Rapids Catholic Central. That means tonight's road trip to face Zeeland East was a must-win situation for South. This game went down to the wire a year ago, so what would tonight have in store? We jump to the third quarter. South Christian leading 21-12, and the Sailors kept their foot on the pedal. Ball on the 34. Jesse Van Grine takes the handoff, stays patient behind the O-line, and he beats the final chick defender and into the end zone, 28-12. South Christian's defense was a force throughout this game. Jacob Lebazou, he with the throw down here to Will Dernick on the first drive of the second half, and the Sailors wouldn't stop the scoring this time. Isaac Osterhaven takes the handoff. Nobody's stopping him. That would be a rushing touchdown, and the Sailors' lead was 22. South Christian would tack on another score in the fourth quarter, and the Sailors going for it on fourth down, and Brody Schiltz would take it himself. No chicks touching him. This one, 79 yards, his third rushing touchdown of the game. South Christian takes this one handily, 41-12 for the road victory. The Zeeland West cheer team, they're with us in the studio tonight, and their Ducks had the chance to play spoiler. Our producer, Matt Gard, was there as West hit the road to take on Forest Hill Central. Matt, you better have good news or I might be in trouble in here.
Jacob, the Rangers, just 2 years removed from their first ever state title, but at 2-4, they're just hoping to make the playoffs. First quarter, Nick Williams going to keep it himself. He's going to get the Rangers into the red zone. They would take a 3-0 lead on a Lucas Mueller field goal, but West would answer. They hand to Jonah Leslie. He's flying through the defense like a mallard duck during fall migration. His touchdown puts West on top 6-3. Now it's the time for the Rangers to respond. Williams tosses to Adam Pietrowski. He gets into duck territory. Williams would score on a 1-yard keeper. Later, 10-6 Rangers. To the second now. Williams drops back to pass, but Nico Monku makes the diving interception. It's West ball, and they would take advantage right away. Former 13 On Your Sidelines MVP nominee Brandon Holman scores. Our friends, the Zeeland West cheerleaders, they're happy tonight. Ducks win 38-24.
The 13 On Your Sidelines MVP of the Week is sponsored by Mario Flores, Van Dyke Mortgage of West Michigan.
Time to find out who's going to be this week's 13 On Your Sidelines MVP. But first, we got to reintroduce you to those nominees. We start with Lamar Bradford, who scored all 4 of Muskegon's touchdowns last week against their arch rivals from Mona Shores. He also put up 245 yards on the night. Then we move to Shelby, where quarterback Isaac Garcia is giving the Tigers hope they'll score their first winning season since 2013. Last Friday against Muskegon Catholic Central, he had 102 rush yards, 128 passing yards, 3 touchdowns for Shelby. And we wrap up with the guy who made the catch everybody's been talking about all week, Hudsonville's Lawson Weber, one-handed, brings it down in the end zone. Eagles beat Rockford, and that touchdown, as you know, was the #1 play on SportsCenter's top 10. West Michigan, we counted up all those votes, all 8,000 of them. Muskegon's Lamar Bradford had 60% of the vote. He joins Jacob now live in the studio.
Matt, we got Lamar and some teammates. Another big night for Muskegon. Lamar, who'd you bring with us tonight?
All right, left guard, left tackle, we have Mateo Rivera. Left guard, Ernesto Botello. Center, Jamie Buhowski. Right guard, Sincere Hawthorne. And right tackle, Caleb Lardy.
Right, Lamar. So, I mean, these guys are a big part of the success. But, man, what you did last Friday night, how good did that feel coming into a game like that? And to do it against any team, but to do it against Mona Shores, how good did that feel?
I think it felt very good, especially it's a rivalry. And, it wouldn't happen without my O-line. They always stay consistent, and that's what I love about them.
You're only saying that because they're right there. These are some big boys. I wouldn't want to upset them either.
Yeah.
For you, your first year as Muskegon's quarterback, you've been such a dual threat this season. How much more of a challenge does that make you for opposing defenses? They don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah, I think it's more of a challenge because I'm undersized, and I think teams underestimate me. And, I just got to keep battling every week.
How good does that feel? I mean, maybe they do look at your size and underestimate you, and then you come out every week and put up the stats you're able to put out to prove these people wrong now that you guys have won 5 straight here.
I just feel like as a group, we're just an unstoppable force if we just all stay together as a team. And I think that's what we're doing.
So you guys started the season 0-2. You've rattled off 5 straight after tonight's win. What was the key for you guys to not panic and get back to playing the way you guys know how to play?
Our motto was to go 1-0 every week, and we just applied it on the field, and that's why we're getting the outcomes that we got.
But only week 7, still so much more work to go. I know you guys have your eyes toward a deep playoff run. What's the key here as you guys are in a groove to make sure this season lasts a whole lot longer than just the next 2 to 3 weeks?
I'd say stay sharp at practice, listen to the little things that's going on, and we're going to be set to go to the state championship.
All right, that's what we like to hear. Lamar Bradford, your Week 6 13 on your sidelines MVP of the week. Muskegon, they won 5 straight. Keep an eye out for them. But we're just getting started. Still got a lot more highlights coming your way. Rockford hits the road to avenge perhaps the biggest upset of 2024. The Rams took on Jenison. Plus, it's one of Kent County's oldest rivalries. Sparta traveling to Cedar Springs in RCAA action. And if you missed any of tonight's highlights, you can watch them anytime. On demand, 13 plus, download for free and watch on your TV.
The 13 on your sidelines Protector of the Week is sponsored by Lasco Services.
It's now time to honor the players who really make conference titles and playoff appearances happen. The big guys up front, of course, the offensive line, our newest 13 on your sidelines Protector of the Week, the offensive line from East Grand Rapids. The Pioneers had possibly their best offensive performance of the season last week against Holland Christian. EGR rushed for 278 yards on 48 attempts as they took down the Maroons 41-21. The starters on that offensive line, Grant Adloff, Cole Burke, Wade Happel, Caden Gossens, and James Preston. Tonight, the Pioneers hit the road for a battle of 4-2 teams as they took on Thornapple Kellogg, and East took care of business with ease, getting that 34-7 victory. Last season, Jenison stunned Rockford, scoring its first win against the Rams since 2005. Tonight, Rockford got a shot at revenge on the road. Right now, the Wildcats are on the playoff bubble, and a win in this one would certainly improve those odds. Both teams went scoreless in the first. Luca Hearn, he would take 25 seconds in the second to break that trend. Rockford up 7-0. 6.5 left in the opening half. Braden Daniels goes to the sideline, finds Owen Holt. That would put the Rams up 2 scores. And from there, well, things would snowball. Following possession, Jenison tries to go over the middle. Senior DB Patrick LeBlanc says, "That's my territory." The interception puts Rockford in prime field position. Very next play, toe drag swaggler. Carson Lamar with the nice catch falling out of bounds. Rockford pushes its lead to 21-0. So with that we go. Just over 2 minutes left in the half. Jack Eichbauer flips the field with a long run here. Yeah, he was really running that quick. That would set up Junior Carey with the goal line punch. That would put them up 28-0 at the midway point. The Rams rolling this one, getting that revenge on Jenison, 38-7. Sparta, they came into tonight just below that playoff cut line in Division 4. Much needed wins won't be easy to come by, though, because they end the season against the top 3 teams in the River Cities Alliance. And that gauntlet began tonight. It's a matchup with their longtime rivals from Cedar Springs. The Red Hawks have won 6 straight games in the series dating back to 2012. Final minute of the opening half, Red Hawks with a 35-6 lead, and it's the quarterback, Nick Robinson, keeps it himself. Long run here. Still not done. He's going to cut back across the middle. That would lead to a field goal for the Red Hawks headed into the break. In the second half, wouldn't be any kinder to Sparta. First drive, Noah Mallory. Huge hole. He's gone down the sideline. That's 52 yards. Make it 44-6. Down 38, Sparta says, what the heck? We're going to go forward on 4th down from our own 19. Stuffed. Great field position coming up for Cedar Springs. The Red Hawks bring in the bench, and it's Luke Egan now at quarterback, fakes out everyone, heads in for the 50 spot. Dominant performance tonight from Cedar Springs. They get the rivalry win, 51-13. After a hot start to the season, Tri-County has lost 2 of its last 3 games. Tonight, the Vikings look to get back on track as they faced Chippewa Hills. Gooden Parker Field played host to this CSAA Gold matchup. First drive through the rain, the Vikings feeding Chase Keller, and they go right down, capped off by a 6-yard Keller touchdown, 7-0 Tri-County. And rain means a slippery football. Chippewa Hills backed up near the end zone. Bad snap goes into the end zone, and Jordan Riva all over it. Defensive touchdown, 13-0. Second quarter, now it's the Vikings backed up, and Chippewa Hills takes advantage. Logan Pelong takes the short punt, breaks a few tackles, gets down to the 8-yard line. But all that would do, set up the Tri-County defense for more. 3rd and goal, Wilson Sixberry comes up with the sack. It would be a turnover on downs after a PBU on the next play. Tri-County takes care of business on their home turf, taking this one 39-12. And we're not done yet. Still to come on 13 on your sidelines. Coopersville and Kennewa Hills faced off in what ended up being an instant classic out in the River Cities Alliance. And we also had some 8-man action this week. It's a battle of undefeated teams as Grand Rapids Sacred Heart travels to Martin. And as we head to break, we'd like to give one more shout out to our food sponsor, Robinson Dental, for buying pizza for all of our in-studio guests. Kennewa Hills came into tonight in first place in the River Cities Alliance. They traveled to Coopersville, where the Broncos working to keep their playoff hopes alive. Tonight, the 15th meeting between these conference foes. Tie game midway through the third, and how about some offense? Grayson Fellows goes up top, drops it perfectly for his main man, Will Fussman. 29-yard score and a 28-21 lead. Late in the third, Broncos kicking his freshman, Champ Kelly, shows off the accuracy. Sam McDonald, his 3rd touchdown catch of the game. We were tied. Coopersville would take the lead in the 4th. That's a 28-yard field goal from Sam Kelly. But Fellows and the night offense would not be denied as he goes up top again. That's Brennan Gustins. Heck of a catch for the long gain. And a few plays later, what's a Kennewa Hills highlight without London? Hampton takes the handoff, off tackle, makes a man miss. Hampton going to outrun the D to the end zone, 34-31 late. One last chance for Coopersville, 4th and 20, and the night D comes up with the game-sealing sack. Kennewa Hills hangs on for the win, 34-31. Both Spring Lake and Forest Hills Eastern came into tonight on the outside of postseason conversation in Division 4. Our producer Matt Gard was there as the Hawks and Lakers went head-to-head.
Yeah, Jacob, both of these teams desperately needed a win and some playoff points to keep their seasons alive.
What's happening, Daly?
Granville 21.
In the rain, second quarter trailing 22-20. Former 13 on your sidelines MVP of the week, Landon O'Donnell, hits Tyler Bullheis in stride. He gets deep into Hawk territory. A few plays later, O'Donnell and Bullheis are going to hook up again. It's in the back of the end zone. I got to get out of the way. Touchdown makes it 28-22 at half. Third quarter now. Jackson Nash is going to open up the half. He takes the option pitch for Spring Lake into Hawk territory. They would get down to the goal line later on the drive, and Landon O'Donnell, he's going to keep it himself. That makes it 36-22, and somebody in the student section owes Landon a cheese stick on Monday at lunch. I heard that. Eastern would respond. Kenrick Penkovich launches one downfield. Luke Rosenbrook, all alone, massive touchdown catch. That cuts the Spring Lake lead to 7. But the Lakers would put this one away. O'Donnell throws down the field to Nash. That is going to get them in prime territory. Mason Harima would do the rest on this next play, a short run. Spring Lake moves to 4-3 on the season with a 57-43 win, Jacob.
College football has weekday action. Well, earlier this week we had Wednesday night 8-man as Grand Rapids Sacred Heart traveled to Martin for a battle of undefeated teams, meaning the winner of this one clinches at least a share of the conference title. We jump to the second. Clippers on top 6-0 and add on to the lead. Hayden Buell and on the quarterback keeper Martin up by 14. But here comes Sacred Heart. It's Will Highland. He's going to call his own number. Anything you can do, I can do better. Gets the block, 54-yard touchdown. Falcons on the board. And this one was all offense in the first half. Later on, more from the Clippers. It's Buell again. Check out this juke. Makes one man miss, puts him in the spin cycle, cuts across midfield. Nobody's catching him. That's a 70-yard score for Buell. That would restore Martin's 2-possession lead. But on the ensuing kickoff, Highland, he's the quarterback, he's the kick returner, and he's going for a house call. Back and forth haymakers in this one. Special teams making a difference throughout. But Martin's offense, too much. Wesson Elkins gets in for the score on the next possession as the Clippers take this one 48-26 to move to 7-0 on the season.
We love a little 8-man ball, Jacob. I'm going to make that a petition. Let's make weeknight 8-man a thing. Time for a look at some other scores from around the area. Let's start in the OK Red, where West Ottawa wins a thriller against Caledonia 33-30 in overtime. The Panthers won 2 out of their last 3 after starting the season 0-4. How about another OK Red upset? Grand Haven welcomes Granville to the Lakeshore, and the Bucks beat the Dogs 42-28. We'll have to see how that affects Granville's playoff hopes. Speaking of playoffs, Mona Shores keeps its playoff hopes alive with a 27-14 win over Forest Hills Northern. The Huskies, they had a chance to get back into it late, but J.C. Torrens got an interception that sealed the win for Shores. Ludington stays undefeated tonight. They are 1 win away from an outright conference championship after a 32-7 win against Whitehall. In the OK Silver, Kellogg'sville gets its 5th win of the season in a close one against Comstock Park, 22-18. Also in the Silver, Godwin Heights. They were down big. They came from behind, got the victory on the road, 31-30 against Fruitport, and Kellogg'sville and Godwin will face off next week in perhaps the most meaningful game in their rivalry in quite some time. Finally, Grand Rapids Christian wins a really close one in the OK White. They beat Hamilton tonight in overtime, 29-28. Jacob.
All right, Matt, and I mean, what can I say about Tigers Mariners? You know we have to talk about it, but I can't show you highlights because the game is still going on. We're going to talk about it after the break. And remember, if you missed any of the highlights tonight, you can download 13 Plus on your TV, watch the whole show on demand, and you can do it for free.